Most Reverend Isabella Abarquez, Director Maribel Sacendoncillo, Mayor Ignicio Junchi Ponferrada, and of course the members of our 8th Infantry Division. So friends, Secretary Dureza and his party will be with us for 45 minutes to answer your question. Please keep your questions within the subject area. All comments are on the record. Towards the end of the press conference, I will indicate how many more questions we have time for. Please limit yourselves. So we will be having 30 minutes. We'll be having 30 minutes for the press conference, so please limit yourselves to one question and one follow-up in order to accommodate as many questions as possible. I repeat, one question, one follow-up. So if time permits, I may call you again for additional questions. So when Secretary Dureza opens the floor, please raise your hand until I acknowledge you. Then state your name and affiliation for the record, so we can ensure you get the information you need if it is not provided here today. So if you don't have your press kit, kindly get it from Ma'am Giselle. And please turn off your cell phones and radios or put it in silent mode. So ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Secretary Jesus Dureza.
One question and one follow-up.
Yes, sir.
Beyond that, you have to pay and give to the church. Abuloy. You know, President Duterte one time said, nag-promise na ako sa Lord na hindi na ako magmura. Pero every time magmura ako, magbayad ako ng 1,000. Diba sa Caritas, dapat? Sabi niya. Nagmura siya ngayon. Sabi niya, Mr. President, may utang ka kayo ng 1,000. Sabi niya, nag-deposit na ako doon. Hindi pala meron akong chargeable against myself. Anyway, yes, please go ahead and ask your questions, please. Yes, sir.
Mr. Zalde, kindly introduce yourself and your affiliation, please.
Isang mapagpalang hapon po sa lahat. Mr. Zalde Gabiana Habaan, Program Host, Bantay Provincia, DYMS, Manila Broadcasting Company. I am a survivor of a cruise firing during 1985, during the time of General Mison. In Samar, sir, dalawang batas ang umiiral. Sa kabundukan, batas po ng NPA. Bawal bumaba kapag pinababa ng tropa ng gobyerno. During the age of 10 years old, ibinaba po ako dito sa Catbalogan. Nang bumalik po ang parents namin doon para asikasuhin yung aming 33 hectares na nyugan, hindi na po nakababa. Ginawa po silang human shields. My question runs this way. Bago po mag-offer ng kapayapaan sa NPA, paano po maisasalba ang ordinaryong pamilya sa Samar, sa teritoryo ng mga NPA na walang buhay na masasakripisyo?
Maybe we should ask the local military muna to give their thoughts about that. Paano dahil isasalba yung mga tao na nandun na gusto nang bumaba?
Hindi po. Yung pong civilian sa kabundukan, hindi po pinabababa ng NPA. Kapag sila ibababa, hindi na po nila makukuha ang kanilang lupain at nyugan. Kapag sila ay nagbayad ng buhis sa lupa, sila ay ituturing na kaaway ng revolusyon. Naiipit po ang civilian sa sitwasyong ito. Ang tanong po, paano po natin maisasalba yung pong ordinaryong pamilya po nang wala pong buhay na maliligalig at mapapahamak?
Well, una sa lahat, you know, if you refer to that kind of, parang ano na sila, kontrolado na sila ang buhay nila. First is, you ask the civilians muna, gusto niyo ba na parating ganito kayo? And then after that, if they want to have deliverance, then they should cooperate with government kasi ang problema kasi, naghihirap sila takot sila, should we allow ourselves to be continuously be under the control of the bad guys?
Follow-up question, sir.
Yes.
Isa po kami sa mga nais magbago. Pinatay po ang kapatid ko. So, ang tanong ko po, siguro tutukan po natin unang-una ang kapakanan ng sibilyan sapagkat sila po ang nasa disadvantage. May baril po ang NPA, may baril din po ang military. Pag nag-declare po ng war ang military, lalaban ng NPA, saan po sila naglalabanan? Doon po sa may tao, may sibilyan. Kaya nakikiusap po kami, sa side po ng sibilyan, unahin po muna bago ang labanan.
Kaya nga, you have to seek the help of the military. Kasi ang, ano mo, parang ang premise ng question mo, gusto mo maglaro lang to play safe. You have to take sides eh. If you don't take sides here, in this game,
Pinatay na nga po ang kapatid ko.
then you want to be killed some more. Kung ganun, you allow them to continuously control your lives. You should not.
May ninong po is from the military po.
Excuse me, sir.
Hindi ka tinulungan ng military. Did you go to the military to get support? What did the military do to provide you support?
Ang NPA po, sir, ay hindi po yan naninirahan sa barangay. So, mobile po sila. Wala po tayong hold. Sa lawak po ng Samar, lalo-lalo na ang kabundukan at kakahuyan, hindi po natin kaya yan. More than 40 years na po naglalaban dito, may armed struggle, hindi pa rin po nasosolusyonan. Wala po sa labanan at sa barilan ang solusyon, sir.
Gusto niyo ba na tuloy-tuloy yung ganang sitwasyon? Or you want to do something about it?
We are doing something, sir.
How? What did you do?
Of course, we cooperated with some information to the NID, kaya lang namatay din po ang kapatid ko.
Well, fortunately, things like this happen. Kasi karamihan kasi na lumalala yung sitwasyon at nagpukontrol sila dahil yung mga tao mismo, ayun na rin tayo eh. You know what we did in Davao when the NPAs were supporting, were older, killing everyone, they took over even the urban areas of Agdao. Ang tawag na nakataw doon, ni Karagdao. Because every day, maraming namamatay. Lahat na pulis na nasa kanto, they have to get one policeman to cover him dahil pinabaril sa ulo ng mga NPA. You know what the Navajinos did? They saw that they cannot rely totally on the military and the police. Nag-alsamasa. Alam mo yung concept ng alsamasa? People themselves decided to rise up, no longer relying too much on the military and the police dahil pag na-isolate ng military at ang police at that time. Ano nangyari? I'll give you an example. In one area, for example, in the subdivision in Davao, where I live, maraming mga armado doon, nakatambay sa gabi, titirahin ka lang. We did not allow that to happen because the police and the military cannot always be there to protect us. What did we do? We organized ourselves sa neighborhood. Sa mga barangay doon sa malayong lugar ang ginawa nila, pag merong armado na bumagala sa lugar nila sa gabi, kuha sila ng kaldero nila, saka tingting sila. Narinig ng neighbor, nagtingting din, nagtingting lahat. The NPA started disappearing from the area because they knew that the civilians would never allow them again to control their lives. Ginawa namin sa subdivision, GSIS yun bahay ng mga maestra, mga government employees. Naggastos sila ng isang electric bell. 10 bahay nakakonect sa electric bell na may switch ka sa bahay mo. Pag may nakatambay sa labas na suspicious character, the first household that would notice it would ring the bell. Lahat na mga residente, kung 10, the 9 will switch on all their lights. Hindi lumalabas dahil wala silang armas sa karamihan. So alam mo na kung saan yung nagkakaproblema, yung bahay na walang ilaw. What I'm saying is, you have to get yourselves organized and not allow them to continuously and forever control your lives. If you don't do that, many of your relatives, I'm sorry, will also be killed, or your neighbors, your friends.
Right, thank you so
That's an experience that I'd like to share with you. You have to do something about your situation. If the military and the police are no longer capable of helping you, then ilan na lang yan sila. Actually, they cannot cover everyone. The civilians must do something about it. If they don't, then sorry, they'll continuously be under the control of the bad guys.
Alright, thank you so much, Secretary Dureza. Before we proceed, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Ms. Cristina Marie Carpina Coloma, the title holder of Miss Northern Samar 2011 and the top 10, amongst the top 10 of the Miss World Philippines 2007. Alright, and I will thank you so much, ma'am, for being here. I would like to request everyone, to remind rather, everyone to please be brief, be concise, and please be direct to the point. Thank you. And our next question is coming from Miss Ayen.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jeneline Gagat from UNTV. And sir, I heard you, sir, kanina. Sabi mo, first time mo na makapunta na Samar at makita mo si Gov talagang ganda yung governor namin for Samar.
Babalik-balik na.
Sir, yung the peace caravan, sir, na ginagawa po ninyo from Baguio, then mag-i-end po kayo sa Marawi. Ano ba yung relevance po natin dito, sir? Bakit ginagawa po natin dito? Thank you.
September kasi is the month of peace. At dati, we just ring the peace bell in Quezon City to signal the start of the month of peace. And then nanawagan lang kami, pagkatapos wala na. Ngayon, ang ginawa natin, because there are many now groups like in the Cordillera, ang mga igurot, ipugaw doon, talagang they're already organized and how to protect themselves. So, doon yung tinatawag natin na peace bus. We have a bus. May nakasakay doon ng mga OPAPP staff. We go the rounds in the many areas. For example, doon sa Cordillera, sa Baguio, when we started, parang muna umikot yan to just bring the level of consciousness of people about the need to work for peace. So we went to many areas. Ngayon, all over the country na. Darating dito, we will end up in Marawi, in Iligan and in Marawi, to culminate the month of peace there. But in the process, you level up the consciousness of the people of the need to be involved and to participate in the work for peace. Dahil dapat huwag natin iwanan sa gobyerno lang itong work to have peace, sustainable peace. Each one must have his own share. And the example of the Alsamasa is, unfortunately, is so negative to some, but that's the only way. To be able to bring up the consciousness, level up the people towards helping bring about peace. Marami in Cotabato, where's Asif Dixon? He will organize about 200 bikers there.
With Bishop Collins.
Oh, with Bishop Collins Puro. He'll be there. Magbabike sila.
MILF.
With the MILF and the MNLF. May partnership na kasi ngayon yung pagsamoro natin with government and with the public and with the military. Yeah.
Sir, pala na. May mention po ba kayo, yung nadaanan po ninyo, parang nagkakaroon kayo ng meeting with the PNP and the EFP. Yung pong problem po ba, sir, sa security, isasam up po ninyo, then lalagay niyo po ano mga solutions, mga recommendations, gano'n po ba, sir?
May mga activities kasi in every area where the peace bus will go. From there, our OPAPP staff na nandyan, nakasakay, we learn from ano yung kanilang mga hinaing, ano yung kanilang mga suggestions, because you have to hear it from them. Kasi every area has its own specific problem and its own specific way of addressing these problems. So we learn as we go along. At the same time, we highlight the fact that the civilians must be active players in the search for peace.
Alright, thank you, Secretary. Next will be Miss Jasmine.
Wala kang nagdagdag na isang question pa para may bayad ka kay Bishop. Okay. Oy, Yusek Nabiltan, my deputy, will add something, right? Nabil?
Yung pong pag-ikot sa key cities ng Peace Bus, we started in Cordillera in Baguio, and then we went to Quezon City for the ringing of the World Peace Bell, which was donated by Japan after that Hiroshima bombing. And then from there we proceeded to the PICC. We had the ASEAN peace conference on preventing violent extremism. And then there are, in every cities, there are walk for peace. We were in Legazpi yesterday. The AFP, PNP, the youth, some government organizations were there and participated in the walk for peace from the provincial capital. And then we came in. There are peace fora, peace conversations, walk for peace, youth assembly. So those are different engagement with the different sectors, women. So ganun po ang mix ng aming activity sa bawat area. May press conference din po. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, Ms. Jasmine?
Sir, good afternoon. Jasmine Bonifacio, sir, sa Rappler. Dito po sa between Samar and Leyte, may malaking disparity tayo in terms of sa peace and order at saka sa economic condition ng mga tao. So, ano po sir yung gusto natin i-share o i-suggest na gusto natin i-share sa ating mga local officials sa Samar? Kasi siya yung medyo may malaking problema talaga sa ekonomiya ng tao at saka sa peace and order.
I'd rather that the local officials answer that one. Kasi they know exactly the environment, bakit, ano ang dapat gawin. So, can we ask anyone sa governors natin to respond?
As the chair of the RPOC, actually we come up with a peace and prosperity roadmap that was crafted by the 6 governors together with the 2 generals and the ILG together with the help of the LGA. So yung peace and prosperity roadmap, nakapaloob na yung mga kailangan natin na ayusin at mga things to be done na mga programs and activities that we think na yun yung kaya or somehow makaka-address dun sa mga conflict areas at saka as far as peace and security is concerned. So nakapaloob na dun sa peace and prosperity roadmap.
Governor, itong mga plano natin, bali na naipasa po ba natin doon sa mga local officials like sa Sidibuan for that matter? Alam na po ba ito ng mga like the mayor or the vice mayor kung ano itong mga programa plano po ninyo for sa Sidibuan and other conflict areas dito sa Samar?
Yes, within fact, yung lahat ng mga programs like I'm just saying sa Samar side, sa amin, we have the Spark Samar campaign which is meron siyang nakapaloob yung Spark Samar Development Agenda. We conveyed this to the mayors. We had a meeting in Manila and then during the pasidungog for the DepEd sa Academ, dun sa poverty conference with the SUCs and then dun up to the barangay level. So na-inform na natin yung mga barangays. And ito din yung mga programs at saka mga projects na gusto din nila to their respective municipalities and barangays. And we don't only partner with the government, but also we also want to partner with the church for the values transformation. So kaya ho, kung makikita natin nandito din si Bishop, kasi malaki yung factor, malaki yung tulong ng simbahan para dun sa values transformation natin, including the education sector. So, lahat po talaga kailangan gumalaw kasi yung peace and security, it's a shared responsibility. Sabi nga ni Secretary, hindi ito kakayanin na military lang, police lang, kung hindi lahat tayo kailangan gumalaw. So, it's not only, we will not focus merely sa mga government officials kasi iisa lang po kami, isa lang yung gobernador ng Samar, isa lang yung governor ng Northern Samar. So, kailangan lahat tayo magtutulungan.
And we're hoping na ito yung magiging solution sa insurgency problem ng Eastern Visayas or the Samar.
Yes, we are so positive na pag ibigay sa atin lahat ng kailangan natin, all the ingredients para dun sa pag-develop ng lugar natin. I don't think na meron pang gustong umakyat sa bundok at somehow mahirapan sila dun. Kung kung meron naman tayong alternative livelihoods na pwede natin iparating sa kanila dito sa baba.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Ms. Jasmine. So next we have Ms. Miriam.
Good afternoon, Secretary. I'm Miriam. I'm a Philippine Study Freeman of the YPL. Just a month before this Marawi siege, the President of Duterte halted the peace negotiation in Norway. And sa pagkakaalam mo, may pag-asa pa ba na ipagpatuloy ang peace negotiation na ito?
Kami naman, trabaho namin sa OPAPP to continue all ways and means to be able to achieve a negotiated, just and sustainable peace in the land. So, tuloy-tuloy yung efforts namin. Di ba sinabi ko earlier, the President made public just recently his statement. Sabi niya, kung eager ang NPA makipag-usap, okay din ako. It's a good positive signal na kung there is the so-called enabling environment na pwede nang mag-resume ulit, because we have stopped at the foreground. And we have done already the agreement on, first agenda item is yung international humanitarian and protection of international humanitarian law. Tapos na yun, no? We're working now on the CASER, Comprehensive Agreement on Socio-Economic Reforms. After that, we're going to tackle political and constitutional reforms. Yun ang pangatlong agenda. And the last, disposition and the hostilities and disposition of forces. We have done one, tapos na yung isa. We are now on the CASER na inabutan ng suspension. Ang gusto kasi ng Pangulo, dahil sa mga insidente na kung matutuloy man, dapat may pag-usapan mo na yung ceasefire. Alala mo, nagkakabakbakan, nagkatake ang NPA, or sumasagot din ang ating pamahalaan, but that environment is not conducive dahil ang mga tao magsabi, bakit pa kayo, sige, negotiate yan na, nanggugulo pa ba din, nag-atake pa ng mga company. So, the President would like to address the public also, kaya pinakancel na yung peace talks. But if that environment is no longer existing now, at hindi na masyado nagkabakbakan, baka pwede natin ituloy ang peace negotiations. So, we're waiting for that opportunity. And perhaps it's going to be soon that we will be working again for the resumption of these peace talks. But ultimately, we'll have to wait for the final go signal of the President. Ngayon, wala pang final go signal.
Thank you, sir. Another question. Siguro last month, nagkaroon ng Peace Security Council meeting at Catbalogan. And isa sa present ng Infantry Division, yung mga barangays na Samar na wala pang access ng mga roads dito. Kaya patuloy pa rin yung problema ng insurgency doon. On your part, sir, maa-address na ba itong panawagan na magkaroon ng mga access roads sa mga barangays na ito?
Sana. Dahil we have a Pumana program under OPAPP, merong comprehensive plan na sinubit ang ating LGUs dito on how to address this problem. And I was told, and maybe we'll ask again the Governor to give us an update on your peace and development project.
Included, yes, Sec, included dun sa Peace and Prosperity Roadmap na na-create natin, na-present na natin during, actually, I raised this up during the NPOC meeting where the President is the chair. And then pinabalik niya ako para i-present yung Peace and Prosperity Roadmap natin. And during that time, nandun sa presence ni Secretary Jokno, in-approve ng Presidente yung roadmap. Although sabi niya, we'll check with the budget. Kasi meron din tayo ngayong binubuno, yung SUC, yung libre for the college tuition. So, yun ho yung tinututukan ng Presidente ngayon. And then sabi niya, maybe if we cannot give all of the requests na road projects, we can give portion of it. And we are positive that we will be given, if not all, portion of it is coming 2018. And then yung susunod for the succeeding years up to 2022. Sabi ko naman kay Presidente, kung nakapaghintay na kami ng decades, bakit ngayon hindi namin mahintay with the 6 years na siya yung nandyan. So somehow I'm positive that the President will really address the clamor of Eastern Visayas, yung Region 8. Kasi kung titingnan natin, siya lang din yung Presidente na nagpakita ng interes sa pagtulong sa mga outskirt provinces. Hindi siya nakafocus lang sa Imperial Manila but also in the part of Visayas and Mindanao. So we'll just pray and hope na mabigyan talaga tayo ng suporta. But then, I stress this to the President na it should not be roads alone yung solution ng peace and order natin na problem dito. But also, we want to integrate some livelihood projects, agricultural projects, to those areas na meron na tayong ginawang kalsada para holistic naman yung approach natin. Kasi tama yung sabi ni Gov. Petilla, dito nakalagay yung kalsada, dito naman yung livelihood, hindi siya naka-integrate. So, hindi pa rin ramdam ng mga tao natin, especially dun sa mga remote areas, yung totoo at buong tulong ng national government at saka ng local government. So ngayon ho, this is a significant moment na nakikita natin na yung LGU and the national agencies are working hand in hand through the RPOC and OPAPP para kung ano man yung kailangan, yung gaps na meron tayong nararanasan ngayon, mawala na yun at ma-address natin yung kailangan talaga.
Thank you, Gov. Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you so much, Governor Dan and Ms. Miriam. Due to time constraints, we are down to one question. And it is the first one to acknowledge was Mr. Rumel.
Meron pang lady doon na pwede natin, diba, after.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Sec. I am Romel Rotor from Action Radio Catbalogan. During the past few months, actually our local government units tried to converge their services into one based on the recommendation, I think, that was presented a while ago for the synchronization of the development programs of various LGUs. And we at Bantay Bayanihan as well actually call this as the whole of nation approach at the local level. Ang tanong ko sana, sir, is paano sir mapupush ng OPAPP at the national level yung convergence ng ating development or basic social services and developmental programs at the national level na madirect po pababa sa local level, especially in conflict-affected areas. Kasi yung IPSP natin before, nag-adapt tayo ng whole of nation approach, pero problema natin yung cluster, hindi siya nagmamaterialize. Ngayon may kapayapaan tayo, at still they are pursuing the whole of nation approach or whole government approach. Pero hindi pa rin sir natin nakikita kung mangyayari po ba ito. But with the interference, I think, of OPAPP, paano sir natin mako-converge yung different government agencies to come down with a synchronized delivery of their respective services.
Yun nga sinabi ni Governor Petilla kanina, the need for an integrative approach, which is not yet really happening. Kaya yun ang dream natin and we'd like to work along that line. But in terms of responding to some of the needs here, especially on development, Omana is our instrument in bringing about some of this assistance in conflict-affected areas na hindi pa nakarating. For example, in the year 2016, Boyan, magkano yung Omana project natin dito sa area? Dito lang sa Eastern. Ay, tulog na. About 200 million. In the 2018 budget, we have proposed about 250 for 2018. But maghihirit pa yata kami, baka maidagdag namin yung integrated development plan nila in conflict-affected areas that the local LGUs have decided to put together, which they have already presented to the President. Pero ano ba yan? Papaluha pa ako. Tutulong pa ako. But in the meantime, doon sa 2018, at least meron tayong 250 million. But it's a drop in the bucket in the need of the area in order to have development. Oy, we didn't introduce our peace ambassador. Tapos na pa, nakita ka na pala nila kanina. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Sir, second question ko lang last. Baka pwede akong mag-segue, sir, sandali. On Monday kasi, sir, there was a new group that was organized, a new armed group organized because of the Marawi siege. I know, nakarating na po sa inyo yung Meron Victims Movement. Sir, with this situation, may final assault tayo sa Marawi. In fact, ilang batalyon namin napunta doon, kaya medyo kulang din kami ng mga sundalo dito sa Eastern Visayas.
4 na batalyon, sabi ni General.
Yes, sir. Tapos mayroon na namang brewing armed group because of the effect ng Marawi siege. Baka sa pwede kayo makapag-share how is OPAPP handling the situation with this
Well, we're
new
not
development?
really directly involved sa armed project of the government. Pero huwag naman tayo kagad maniwala doon sa mga pinopost na merong another armed group that will also participate. Kasi may propaganda din yan eh.
Correct.
In fact, right now, the position of government is we are still validating that one. But if validated, we cannot allow private armed groups to participate in our effort to have peace. Leave that to the military and to the police. Pag makisaw-saw na naman yung iba dyan, mag-aarmas-armas sila, they will be targeted by government also. I don't think government will tolerate another armed group. Parang inaalaw natin yung mga PAGs, di ba? Private armed groups to already operate. Even though if their intentions are good, na tinatakot nila yung maote, umalis na kayo dyan, hindi atakin din naman kayo. We should not allow that because these are unauthorized groups. At makisaw-saw, magkakaproblema tayo. Be assured that the military and the government and the police are capable of handling this. Hindi lang natin matapos agad because we're also very careful that we preserve the lives of the hostages. Alam niyo kung walang hostages, matagal na yan natapos eh. Binomba na yan lahat eh. But the President had said, we'd like to protect principally the lives of innocent civilians or what. Kaya, we are still working on it right now. But we should never tolerate private groups to arm themselves and then participate in, even if they say it's for addressing the armed groups na lumalaban sa gobyerno. We should not allow that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sir Secretary and Sir Romel. So our last question would come from Ms. Josephine.
Ma'am Josephine, always the women of the final say. But before that, before you, but we men always insist that we have the final say. And you know what it is? Yes, ma'am. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. With due respect to everybody in the table. Sir, there is this statement about, I have two concerns actually. One will be addressed to the Secretary and the other to the AFP Commander.
What about the bishop?
ID. And if the bishop may have something to say, please do so.
Input the bishop.
First of all, I'd like to ask about this statement that implementation of command projects will be transferred to DPWH, and if true, will this help hasten the peace process in the province?
It's not true.
The area.
It's not true first that there is a policy that projects ng OPAPP on Pamana will all be done by DPWH. In fact, we are going to allocate this to all the different agencies in government which have the capability to implement. But I have also directed, as a matter of policy in implementation, that priority should be given to the LGUs to be the implementing arm. Kasi mas alam nila yung local situation, alam nila yung klase ng mga tao na maging beneficiaries, at alam nila kung paano nila pabalansin ang... Alam kasi, pag mag-implement ka ng project, hindi naman sa lahat, di ba? So yung ibang may exclude will also be complaining. For example, in a livelihood project, you may give, 200 women beneficiaries. a livelihood project, but how many are you excluding? At magsabi, bakit sila lang? Kami, you create again another situation. But if you leave that to the LGUs, they know how to handle it. They know how to balance that situation. Di ba? So, it's not true that all Pamana projects will be done by DPWH. Meron kami project na Department of Agriculture din ang gumagawa. But my directive latest for the future implementation, let's give now priority as much as we can to the LGUs as the implementing arm of the Pamana.
Thank you for that answer, sir. So clear. My second concern is about the peace and order situation po in the region. If at the point of view of the AFP and sa church po. So whoever gets the microphone first.
Yung ating Mr. Director natin.
Magandang hapon na sa inyo. As far as the peace and order of the whole region is concerned, ang nakikita ko, sir, sa record po ng buong region, sir, hindi ho kagaya ng mga krimen na nangyayari sa ibang lugar. Ang napansin kong mataas for this quarter, yung robbery na actually kakilala naman nila na ako. So hindi ho ganun kagaya. Ang nakikita ko lang talaga problema nito, yung pinag-uusapan po natin kanina, which is yung sa conflict areas. And of course, yung sinasabi ni Ma'am na yung pagdating po dun sa poverty. Yun po, sir, ang kailangang isolve natin dito sa nakikita ko. That will surely be an answer to the concerns about peace and order. Others, in some areas na nabisita ko na po, minsan ang theft cases nila raw, sir, is nagnakaw ng kape, nagnakaw ng mais, nagnakaw ng prutas, isang kain ng prutas.
So, buhayan pa rin.
Yes, sir. So, it boils down to poverty, yung pagkain, sir. Even, sir, even in cases of drugs, dito, sir, we have a lot of drug cases na street level, and it's unfortunate, sir, talaga yung biktima ng street level na yun, sir, is yung mga nasa mahihirap na lugar din, sir. Making an analysis out of those arrests na ginawa ng mga previous commanders and previous armies, sir, nakita ko na yung mga inaresto na yon, sir, pangpapa lang, sir, yung gustong kitain nung siguro ng tatay. Which ang sabi nila, street level, they will be buying about 5,000 worth of drugs or 2,000 worth of drugs. And then, the 2,000 or 5,000, magdodoble lang yun, sir, once you engage yourself in selling this piso-piso, sir, kung tawagin po yan. So, madodoble para po sa pagkain ng pamilya, pambaon sa school, at yung pang-araw-araw na bisyo ng tatay, kung nagbibisyo sa rin tatay. So, ganun pa rin, sir. Ang nakita ko na naman problema doon, sir, siguro walang makita ng trabaho kong tatay na available dito sa province. So, if they were being given opportunity para magkaroon po ng trabaho dito, o makakita po sila ng opportunity to have a decent job, siguro, sir, mababawasan yung krimen. So that answers kung bakit po yung mga krimen tayo. But kaya na sinabi ko, yung krimen po natin compared po sa ibang region, masyado pong mababa. So no alarm as to the crime na nangyayari dito. Even the level of the crime incident that are happening here, hindi ko ganun kagrabe compared po sa other regions. So mas tingin ko, sir, mas pagtuunan po natin sa yung ginagawa natin. I think we're doing the right, we are on the right track as far as addressing the problem of the region, sir.
Well, the church is always one with the military and the police in whatever peace and development or whatever peace and order program that they have, as long as they are done within the bounds of law. Thank you.
Sweet and short.
Actually, in most of our campaign assessments, the drawback lies not on the strategic or operational planning, but more on the execution of the plans and programs. Doon tayo nagkakamali along the way. Ang ganda itong roadmap, we presented to the Secretary yung direction ng Region 8. But the how, ang problema natin. And of course, the support of the national or the non-government organization intervention para at least ma-resolve once and for all yung problema na i-lay down natin ngayon.
So that's sir, it is right for me to conclude that the current roadmap of the governor will be, if effectively implemented, will answer the problem on insurgency and yes.
Meron akong dagdaga, but in another way. Have you heard about the dilemma of which comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Yes, that's common.
Ano ma'am? Which comes first?
For me, sir, as a Christian and believing about creation, I think I would believe that the chicken came first before the egg, just like Adam and Eve.
Pero saan galing yung chicken?
Sa creator po. Sa creator.
Galing sa egg. Saan galing ang egg? Galing sa chicken. My point is, that is the dilemma. Which should come first?
Okay.
And the same question can be raised about peace and development. Tanungin mo yung lugar, bakit walang negosyo dito? Bakit walang development? Walang investor? Patayan kasi, magulo eh. Walang security, walang peace. Okay, tanungin mo rin yung mga taga roon, bakit wala kayong peace dito? Yung walang kabuhayan, walang development. So makita mo, which should come first? Peace muna, magkaroon ng development? O development muna bago magkaroon ng peace? The answer is, it should come simultaneously. When you work for peace, there must be also development na kaakibat. Huwag magantay na mangyari isa bago yung isa. That's why we have called on many businessmen in our work in other areas to invest for peace. Alam niyo bakit? Mga negosyante, pinakamaduwag yan, di ba? Pag merong risk kunti, they will go somewhere else. They will go to other areas na peaceful. But then they don't contribute at all. But then if you invest in an area na may challenges of peace, pag ma-clear ang area, you are ahead there and you can benefit because you are way ahead. And I can give you an example of the banana plantation in one area in Mindanao. Walang nag-invest doon dahil ang mga Muslim doon nakaupo sa kalsada, puro may mga baril araw-araw, nangaharang ng sasakyan. One company decided to invest there, maski pa merong ganong threat. They put up a banana plantation. Ngayon, that area, we call it Dato Paglas, is an area there. Wala ka nang makita mga armado nakatayo. Nandun na sa banana plantations, naglilinis na kasi kumilita na sila. So you have to also invite investors to invest for peace. And we have so many investors already, that's why I called on many of these investors na malaki na to go to areas na may problema. Like Marawi will be a problem. Maski pa i-rebuild mo yung Marawi, babalik mo yung mga building, anong kabuhayan ng mga tao? You must invite, therefore, investors also to invest there in this area. Pero kasi pag tumino yung lugar, maging peaceful, yung nakauna doon will be benefiting also. Kasi you know in Mindanao, many banana plantations and some other big plantations are still expanding. Yung mga hindi pa nakarating doon, ayaw pumunta dahil takot. Kasi yung nandoon na, they feel already confident. At yung mga tao doon sa community, because they benefit from the operations, kasi kumikita sila, they're the ones who don't protect these businesses. Kasi pag may manggugulo doon sa negosyo na magsasara, mawala na sila na buhay. So it's a cycle that should also be brought here in Samar. If you have big businessmen, huwag sabihin na, saka na ako mag-invest yan kung maging peaceful na yan, kung wala na yung mga NPA. Otherwise, magkatayan tayo na matagal. I don't know, you may have your own friends who are businessmen. you can encourage them. Invest for peace in the area.
Thank you.
I thought it was about who is the chicken and who is the egg.
Thank you, Ms. Wesley. Secretary, with your permission, ABS request for the very last question.
No, you can ask some more, but you have to pay the bishop, as we agree. Di ba, bishop, usapan yun Sige, please go ahead now.
Okay, so we'll have the last question from Mr. Jeron Monferrada. Ito na ang pinaka-last po. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, sa pag-accept sa question pa. Itanong ko lang po yung about sa peace bus. Kasi 7 areas po ito, nag-kick off po kayo sa Baguio City. Tapos, pangatlo kami sa stop over ninyo po. Pwede naman po kayo mapunta sa Cebu and other areas in Visayas. Bakit po yung Region 8 po yung napili nyo, sir?
Sino who can take that? I can answer that, but let me... Rolly, where's Rolly? Ito yung mastermind ng peace bus. Siya yung sumasakay talaga. But you know, we choose areas where people are organized to welcome the peace bus. Kasi pag pumunta ka sa area, hindi organisado, dumaan lang sila, walang nangyari. So we look at areas that have prepared to welcome the peace bus dahil hindi lang yan ang bus eh. Actually, they create, may mga, ano? Nasa loob ng bus. Nasa loob ng bus. Hindi, pag na, natulog yun dahil travel and sila. So we choose areas where we have ongoing local partners. Like in Davao, for example, pupunta rin ang peace bus doon. May mga bata ron, yung sectors, they have their own show sa gabi to bring about, pero under the logo of peace for everyone. Yeah. We're trying to inculcate na give the strong message na hindi lang dapat gobyerno, hindi lang military, hindi lang police, hindi lang LGUs, dapat makilahok ang civilians, the ordinary citizens.
Okay, sir. Sir,
meron kang lugar na gusto mong puntahan ng bus, padala ko kagad.
Then, itanong ko lang, sir, kasi yung about sa conflict ba yung security, baka na yung Region 8 ba isa sa mga conflict areas. Kasi dito, yung mga area doon, sir, na may mga issue, yung Davao, sa Iligan, sa Marawi. So yun, sir. Sir, you arrived kanina po around mga 11:30 yung chopper, tapos nag-lunch po ka mo. Tapos ito, more than an hour, meeting with the local executives, the governors, with General Fernacio, General Cruz. Pwede pa po ba namin malaman kung ano po yung napag-usapan ninyo, sir? Kahit brief lang po, at least alam namin, sir, kasi naghintay kami sa labas eh.
Nako, dapat ma-briefing kayo. Pero ang pinag-usapan namin, the same din dito sa pinag-usapan namin actually. There's nothing there except that I got a very good briefing from the general and from the governor here about the overall situation.
Sir, lastly po.
Baka gusto mong mga sekretary, tayo na lang.
Sir, lastly, last 2 weeks ago, nabanggit po ni President Digong na there's a possibility na magkaroon ng nationwide martial law. Na sana wag naman siguro. Pag yung mga rebelde magpunta na sa kalsada, magsunog, magawa ng anuman, how will we assure, sir, na walang mangyayaring ganun, sir? Ano po yung ginagawa ng gobyerno dito? Kasi yung nangyari sa Marawi, affected yung mga areas yung travel. Kaya ang ginawa ng Pangulo, nag-declare na lang siya ng martial law sa Mindanao kasi para makontrol. Sa Visayas, sa Luzon, yun, sir, yung ano po yung ginagawa ng gobyerno na hindi po magkaroon ng martial law, sir, nationwide?
Sinabi mo na, sabi ng Pangulo 2 weeks ago, hindi mo pala napakinggan yung kanyang recent statement that was also published, that he said he's not going to declare martial law nationwide. Mukha yata pinipili mo lang yung statement si Presidente.
Hindi, sir, yung mga rebelde, sir, pagbaba nila, sir. Yung pagbaba ng mga rebelde na pag dumating yung punto na yun, there's a possibility talaga.
No, under the Constitution, the President has that right and authority to declare martial law. Calling on the armed forces to really protect the civilians and the public. That's within his authority. ang final determination yan, hindi sa atin. Wala sa atin. Nasa Pangulo yan. Because when he declares martial law, he also takes full responsibility for all the consequences that will happen. Di ba? So, don't worry. Sinabi niya dati, he will declare martial law nationwide, di ba? Pero subsequently he said, I will not declare martial law nationwide. Pag matapos yung Marawi, I will already cancel martial law. Di ba sinabi niya? That's the latest step. Pakinggan natin parati ang presidente. Dahil paminsan, baka maiba yung dating kung hindi mo siya pakinggan ng kumpleto. Remember, when he arrived in Davao, he took the plane. Nag-presscon siya sa airport. Anong sinabi niya sa mga members of media? Sabi niya, nagsumakay ko sa aeroplano. I was sleeping and then suddenly I was awakened. Maybe it's a dream. God told me, huminto ka ng magmura kung hindi i-crash ko ang aeroplano na to. Sabi niya, sagot ko, of course, hindi ako, para hindi makras. Kinuwento niya yan sa media, following day headline, God appeared to Duterte. Okay, 1 week after, nagmura na siya ulit. So, kinonfront siya ng media. Sabi mo, nagsabi ka kay God na hindi ka na magmura. Ikaw ang buwang, naniwala ka pala doon sa sinabi ko. You know, the president is a person who sometimes says a lot of jokes. Pero poker face yan siya, serious. Kaya if you don't know him, you will be misled eh. So, don't take everything that he says because sometimes he says it in as a joke. Paminsan serious siya. Diba? Ayun lang, kung i-publish mo agad na God appeared to Duterte, eh sabi niya, mas buwang ka sa akin. Naniwala ka pala doon. Though I know him, he was my classmate in high school. Because he was there at the Ateneo de Davao. I was studying in a town. In-expel siya ng Ateneo, ng mga Jesuits, dahil naughty eh. So doon siya dinala ng tatay niya, doon sa town na yan where I was studying. Governor ang tatay niya at the time. Pero masyadong simple siya. So, doon kami nagkakilala, kaya kilala ko yan. Huwag ko lang sabihin sa inyo lahat dahil baka mawalan ako ng kaibigan. But he has already that capacity of being a punisher. You know, when we were in high school, may mga rumble na mga gang doon. Mahilig na ng gang eh. Hindi naman kami kasali. Ibang grupo. Pero there was one time, sabi niya, parts labas tayo. Hanapin natin yung grupo na nagkangwar kagabi. Pagdating namin doon sa bar, nakaupo, sinampatan niya diretso. Wala kami pakialam doon. Sabi niya, tangina, huwag kayong manggulo dito. Then tatlo kami dahil dalawa na kami eh, yung mga gang doon. Akit kami sa bakod ng mga brothers where we stayed together. So ganun talaga siya. Just the capacity of being a disciplinarian. And if you ask me also, being like that, masyado din siyang, ang mother niya kasi was a very strict disciplinarian. One time he would tell me, sabi niya, nag-pray kayo kay Lord. Yung si Jesus na yun, matagal ko na yan siyang nakapanding. Sabi ko, bakit? Eh, pag may kasalanan daw siya ng mother niya, pinapaganon siya doon sa wall, harap niya yung crucifix. Eh, sabi, isang oras ko na din nakausap si Lord na yan. Matagal na kami nagpanding yan. That is his way. If you don't know him that well, baka ma-shock ka sa kanya. Pero ganun talaga siya. He is very hard in dealing with criminalities. Dati ro yan na ugali. He is very hard at dealing with yung mga nanggugulo. And he's showing it right now. But if you know, he has a very soft heart as a person. I know him. Madaling maiyak yan, especially pag mga bata na nasa ospital. Many of his projects are unknown to many. Take care of the sick. At binibisita niya yun talaga, isa-isa. Pero akala ng iba, dahil bago sa nakilala nila nationwide, bago sila nagpresidente na siya, nasa shock yung karamihan sa kanila. But you know, you will start to know him as you will continue to be president, and you start already to unravel the enigma of what is Duterte. Yun. Hindi ko nadagdagan, baka nga mawalan ako ng kaibigan.
Thank you, sir.
Uy, explain mo na yung peace pass.
Yes, sir.
Natulog ka doon kanina?
Nandiyan lang po, sir.
Bakit daw yung pinupuntahan ninyo yung mga napinili lang at hindi yung iba? Paano yung why you chose certain areas to be the stop over OPAPP peace pass?
Sige. Good afternoon po. As explained earlier, yung peace bus is traveling from north to south. Pinaliwanag din kaya we're trying to veer away from the usual peace celebration in Metro Manila. This time around, we would like to visit as many places as possible. We would like to listen to as many voices as possible, talk to as many sectors, and actually look into the diversity of peace initiatives na meron tayo in the entire country. Cordillera, for example, we highlighted, of course, the Cordillera struggle for autonomy na matagal na ng IT people. Quezon City is actually the site of the World Peace Bell. Legazpi and Samar actually are very good example from what we have seen in the past as an area really struggling, fighting for peace and development, being affected by communist insurgency. And for many years, we've been working with Northern Samar. Northern Samar, Western Samar, Eastern Samar, the whole island actually. And we've seen kung gaano ka-active actually yung civil society organizations dito, as well at yung mga regional line agencies. Magmula kanina ay nakita rin namin how active yung ating mga local government units. Si Governor nga has been visiting our office in the past months, asking our help in the enhancement, development of the roadmap for peace in Samar. Kaya gusto naming tulungan, makita. Mindanao, tomorrow until the following day, we will be visiting the Caraga region. Butuan, again, we would like to highlight the IP struggle. Communist influence most of the barangays, and then Davao, Cotabato, because these are the centers of the struggle for the Bangsamoro. And then we would like to end the journey, the peace journey in Iligan City. Tulad nga nung theme namin, it's Puso para sa Kapayapaan. In Iligan City, we would like to highlight the humanitarian component of the peace process. How we need to heal the divides being brought about by existing conflict. So, medyo yun po yung latag, kaya ganon yung naging ruta ng peace bus.
Thank you so much, Sir Roddy, for enlightening us. So before anything else, I would like to announce to everyone that we will be having a photo opportunity outside with our peace bus. So please stay with us. And before we end, of course, perhaps we can have a word or two from Secretary Dureza as a closing statement, please.
Thank you. Two lang, word or two. Thank you. Salamat.
Alright, thank you so much, everyone. Perhaps we can proceed outside for our photo opportunity. Thank you.